it's true. Aeternum, we're coming for you. Oh, Aeternum, here we come. Hearts are beating like a drum. Treasure waits beneath the sea. In Aeternum, we'll be free.
Welcome back to my channel. It's Era here, and today we're diving into the lore of the Marauders, the faction of Iron Wills, Green Banners, and one very simple philosophy: might makes right. Think of this as a lore breakdown but in audiobook form, perfect for listening while questing, crafting, or running for your life from a bear that definitely wasn't supposed to aggro from that far. In today's video, we explore their origins, their structure, their enemies, and most importantly, what they stand for. We've already studied the Syndicate and their obsession with knowledge, and now it's time to march with the Marauders. So strap in, because this is where subtlety ends and strength begins. My fellow Marauders, if you would allow me a moment of extremely brief sentimentality, we are among the bravest and most noble fighters on this island. Here, in our faction, it matters not your creed or your origin, but how ferociously you can fight and conquer. The Vitae Aeternum Pact dictates that we issue a test of strength to all newcomers, and once proven worthy, extend the offer of membership to them. While all factions must band together to fight the corruption, the Marauders are without pretense, an uncomplicated bunch united in bloodshed on the battlefield. What more could you ask for? The Marauders were born out of the harsh realities of Aeternum. Where others saw mystery and divinity, the Marauders saw a single undeniable truth. Survival favors the strong. In their manifesto, it makes it clear. Here in our faction, it matters not your creed or origin, but how ferociously you can fight and conquer. Led by Commander Hoang, the Marauders emerged as a militaristic order, welcoming anyone willing to bleed and fight under their banner. In contrast to the exclusivity of the Syndicate or the rigid dogma of the Covenant, the Marauders offered something brutally honest: equality through strength. They drew recruits from mercenaries, outcasts, farmers seeking protection, and adventurers hungry for glory. All found a home under the Green Banners, provided that they could prove themselves in battle. This ideology transformed them into a force feared across Aeternum, not because of secrecy or divine power, but because their army was forged from those who survived trial by steel. But ideology alone isn't enough to keep a faction together. The Marauders needed structure, a chain of command that turned raw recruits into hardened soldiers. At their core, the Marauders believe in one principle: power should belong to those strong enough to take it. This belief shapes their structure. Recruits prove themselves through initiation trials. Figures like Lieutenant Tibbs guide them through their first test. Gladiator Strou'Dahia pushes them further, assigning grueling missions to weed out the weak. And at the top, Commander Hoang commands with blunt authority, embodying their vision of strength-driven leadership. Their motivations are pragmatic: claim land, defend it, and expand their influence. They don't hide behind secret libraries or divine sermons. They conquer, fortify, and dare challengers to try and take what's theirs. But on my server, purple is king. But their tipping point comes when strength alone is not enough. Facing corruption, ancient mysteries, and rival factions, the Marauders must constantly prove their philosophy isn't just brutal, but that it's sustainable. In a world that tests every ideology, the Marauders' survival hinges on whether might alone truly makes right. And nowhere is that test clearer in their war against the corruption. For the Marauders, The corruption is not a puzzle to be solved or a sin to be cleansed. It is simply the greatest enemy to conquer. Where the syndicate would study it and the covenant would preach about purifying it, the marauders face it as they face everything else. Head on, portals are treated like battlefields, corrupted foes like enemies of war. This approach gives them clarity. To a marauder, there is no higher meaning behind corruption, no grand prophecy or hidden truth. There is only the fight, and in that fight, they find purpose. But it also reveals their weakness. By reducing corruption to nothing more than an enemy to smash, the marauders risk underestimating its insidious nature. Victory may come through sheer strength, but survival against an endless tide demands more than muscle. It demands strategy, sacrifice, and sometimes restraint. Qualities that do not always align with their creed. Which raises an important question for me. What would Aeternum look like if the Marauders actually won? Imagine an Aeternum where every settlement flies the green banner. Commander Hoang's creed becomes law. Strength is the only measure of worth. Settlements would transform into military strongholds, where advancement mirrors the faction's ranks, earned by reputation, trials, and victory. The corruption would be treated as the ultimate battlefield. No studies, no sermons, only eradication through relentless campaigns. The people would either rise as warriors or fall into obscurity, their voices drowned out in a society that rewards only the strong. Could be liberating, a meritocracy of pure might, or it could be suffocating, a world of endless struggle where only warriors thrive and everyone else is left behind. As their manifesto warns, we don't need fancy speeches or causes, the only thing we need is ourselves. Powerful, yes, but also dangerous. And that danger brings us to our final thoughts on the Marauders. From Hoang's blunt leadership to Strou'Dahia's grueling trials, they don't hide behind faith or knowledge. They stand sword in hand and demand the world to yield to them. I believe this makes them one of the most dangerous factions in Aeternum, not because they are the most cunning nor the most devout, but because they are the most direct. Their power is visible, their strength is undeniable, and their ambition boundless. But that's just my perspective. What about you guys? Could the Marauders actually forge a better world through strength alone? Or would they condemn Aeternum to endless conquest? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. And remember, this is only part 2 of our faction breakdown series. We've uncovered the Syndicate secrets, we've marched with the Marauders, and next, we'll walk with the Zealous Covenant. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. No, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. Thank you all, I appreciate it. Until next time, I have been Arrow.
Courage true, Aeternum, we're coming for you. Oh, Aeternum, here we come. Hearts are beating like a drum. Treasure waits beneath the sea.